Okay, so today we're diving into a crime story that is, well, it's truly one of a kind. I want you to picture this. The entire state of Assam in India is just buzzing, totally alive with its biggest festival. But right in the middle of all that celebration, a really, really unusual crime is going down. Yeah, this is one of those cases where you've got culture, crime, and let's just say, a very clumsy plan all colliding. So the big question we're asking is how on earth did a cherished traditional festival outfit become a criminal's disguise? Let's get into it. All right, let's kick things off with the moment the police actually closed in on their suspect. And trust me, it was not what anyone was expecting. Not even close. So picture this. It's the middle of the Bohag Bihu festival. The police reports literally said the whole state was swinging to Bohag Bihu. And right then, they arrest this guy, 32-year-old John Moni Sharma. But the truly wild part, the thing that makes this story so nuts, was his disguise. He was wearing a Mekhela Chador, the traditional two-piece dress worn by Assamese women. I mean, can you imagine? That's a very strange sight for a burglary suspect, to say the least. Now, to really get why this disguise was so shocking, you've got to understand the cultural backdrop here. And it all starts with this massive festival, Bohag Bihu. So Bohag Bihu is basically the heart and soul of Assamese culture. We're talking huge celebrations, tons of food, everyone coming together. Just think of it like a week-long party for the new year and the start of spring, all rolled into one. It's supposed to be all about joy and tradition, which, makes this crime feel even more brazen. And the disguise he chose, the Mekhela Chador, look, it isn't just a piece of clothing. It's a huge symbol of Assamese identity, of cultural pride. It's worn with so much grace, especially during festivals like Bihu. So for a man to not only wear it, but to use this really respected attire to commit a crime, that's not just weird, it's incredibly disrespectful. Okay, so who was actually behind this whole strange scheme? Well, the police investigation, believe it or not, pieced together the entire crew and their, let's call it, not-so-brilliant plan pretty quickly. Turns out, the crew was pretty small. You had the man in the disguise, John Moni Sharma, but get this, he was accompanied by his own wife, Vinata Devi, and to round out the trio, they had an accomplice, 31-year-old Gagan Barman. Yeah, according to police, these three weren't heading out to a festival party. They were on their way to rob a house. So, they had a team, they had a disguise, but what about the actual heist? The master plan? Well, this is exactly where their quote-unquote brilliant idea starts to completely fall apart. And they actually managed to steal quite a bit. We're talking gold, cash, even jute. But they also nabbed something that's pretty much priceless. Muga silk. It's often called Assam's pride for a reason. It's this incredibly valued fabric that's just woven into the state's identity. So they weren't just stealing stuff. They were literally stealing a piece of local heritage. So what was the big plan for all this loot? You're gonna love this. Instead of, trying to sell the stolen stuff, their genius idea was to take the gold and try to get a cash loan against it. The Guwahati police, in their official report, couldn't help but get a little sarcastic, dryly calling this the thieves' idea of investment. Yeah, a pretty terrible financial strategy, as you can imagine. Yeah, that little investment opportunity didn't last very long. As soon as the burglary was reported, a special team from the East Guwahati Police District jumped on the case. And they were fast. Their police work was super efficient, and they managed to track down and arrest not just one, but all three members of the crew. Busted. And when they did, they recovered a whole bunch of evidence that basically told the entire story. They found wigs and handbags to complete the disguise, all the usual burglary tools you'd expect, and they even impounded their getaway vehicles, a van and a little scooty. So, after this completely bizarre case was all wrapped up, the local authorities had a very clear and very serious message for everyone. Yeah, this wasn't just your standard arrest report. The police actually issued a specific warning. They basically urged people not to misuse traditional clothes for illegal stuff, making it crystal clear that if you use cultural symbols to break the law, it will not be tolerated and you are absolutely going to face serious legal trouble. It's easy to look at this story and just see a quirky, maybe even kind of funny one-off crime. But it really does bring up a bigger, more unsettling question for the world we live in today. What happens when the very symbols we cherish, our deepest traditions, become tools for crime? It's definitely something to think about.